Hello, Mama Tebogo Buntu. Thank you so much for welcoming us at your organization, Ebhukhosini Solutions. And today, yes, we will give our viewers an opportunity to step into, this organization and understand how you managing a Pan-African organization and what benefits we can find within this organization as African people. So without delaying, the first thing I think I would love for you to just give us a self-introduction so that we may understand what you're doing and who you are, and maybe perhaps how you started also this foundation.
My name is Tebogo Buntu. I'm the director of Ebhukhosini Solutions, which is the organization, community organization or consultancy organization that I run with my husband, Baba Buntu. It started in 2002. And the whole point of really coming up with an organization was that it was a response. It's like a society response. So for us, that is why we saw that it is important to have an organization that will be able to respond to this question, especially to young people, but also to the community as a whole. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. So what kind of services do you offer to promote African-centered education?
We have different programs that we do. Like I said, that basically because our work is a response to our society's needs. We have seminars, we have workshop, we have even a festival that we organize and coordinate with young people. So our services are really in that manner of workshops and seminars, and we have all these services or this program differently engaging with young people. We have dialogue spaces where we invite different people that are knowledgeable about a particular theme or a particular issue, that we bring them to come and share. And the sharing, like I said, that because we are an African-centered learning center, the sharing is always around bringing the African paradigm, because one of the things that we have also realized is that we as African people, because of the history of our life, we have lost an understanding of even thinking about our life through our lens.
Yes.
We always use different lenses.
Yes.
So having spaces, creating spaces of engagement where that we bring an African lens is the one that we find it important, because now it's not only about questioning, it even gives us answers, because we realize that we do have answers to our issues as people, but we have not maybe sometimes finding ourselves not using our understanding, our lens, our paradigm as a point of departure to us to resolve the issues that we are experiencing. Yeah.
Wow, that's so true. That's so true. So are your services connected to any belief, or maybe spiritual practices?
As a space of African knowledge, we look at everything, including spirituality. African knowledge, as a knowledge base, it's been marginalized for a long time. And when I'm talking about African knowledge being marginalized, I'm talking about not the knowledge when it gets marginalized, even its spirituality, even its language, even its ways of knowing. So we don't particularly I can say that we follow any one particular African spirituality of the belief, but we look at the whole African knowledge based space, and that comes with the belief system that comes with that knowledge.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. So just speaking of that, I had the privilege to attend actually one of your sessions, I think many years ago. I'm sure you might remember, you might not remember. So this training was of women training session, and it was called Kandaka. May you kindly explain to us what is Kandaka?
Kandaka, it's a women's session that we run, we coordinate as Ebhukhosini, and I'm the one who's leading it. it's a response also to women issues. And with Kandaka is to go through the questioning of what does it mean to really be an African woman. And it sounds like a stupid question or not a necessary question, but you realize that even our understanding, using our knowledge-based understanding, we don't even know what it means to be us when we draw understanding of being a woman from our perspective. So Kandaka, it's that space, and also it's a healing space. It's a healing space in the way, in a manner that we as women, like men, we experience a lot of pain that we are carrying, and this pain comes from our conception, our where, how we were born, and we carry this pain. And for me, it is important that we create spaces that, in those spaces, we create healing, because we want to be a different kind of woman that we can be.
Just speaking of that, so if Kandaka deals with women, do we have any service that deals with men?
Yes, we do. We do have a program for men, Shabaka, Men of Africa.
Oh, wow.
So Shabaka is also a men's program, also as a response of men's issue, African men's issue in particular. There also this with Shabaka, you are looking at men are also troubled.
Yes.
Are troubled with understanding what does it mean to be them. What does it mean to even be an African man? Like I said, all this they sound like they're just not important questions, but we forget that even as people, we are being conditioned to think of a certain part of, we have been made to think of ourselves in a particular way. For example, if you take someone who's a man, an African man, and you want to find out, do they understand what does it even mean that? Because sometimes it looks like, yes, I know I'm an African man, I'm in. But what does that even mean? Because you realize that unconsciously, the yardstick of being a man is a particular image of a particular man. One. And secondly, also to assist creating a space that can help with men to be able to open and talk about their challenges. Challenges like issues of unemployment, of not being able to support their children and their children, their family, of just being themselves, of not having a car, of not having, sometimes it's like if you don't have a wife, if you don't have a child, if you don't have a job, if you don't have a car, do you still see yourself as a valuable man? And if not, what does that mean to you? Can you be can you find a strength in yourself even if you don't have all the things that they are just seen as a yardstick of being a proper man? So it's also a hidden space for men, and helping them to also be able to talk with other men. Sometimes when you talk with other people sharing your issue, you realize that you're not the only one who has problems. The same thing applies with women. And I will touch on this issue quickly because there are other things. There's a lot of shame that happens with people. For example, when we go to women, there's a lot of shame of some not being able to conceive and give children. Some they have aborted because of due to other experiences. Some they have miscarriages. So many other problems. And with men, they also have other abusive challenges. Like there are a lot of men that they got raped when they are young, and they don't even know how to talk with. They continue to carry shame and guilt. So when you create a space for them to can just open up about this shame that they're carrying, and that is one of the things that you realize that it also helped them now even forging new relationship, because now they have opened up about something that has been a block in my life, and that has been broken. Then now you bring it to mend it, and them to be just present men, not to women, and to themselves. The same thing as women. Be present to yourself. When we are like that, we become strong strong people coming together,
Yes.
not another one
Being
limping
broken,
and
yeah.
whatever, and then another one wants someone to be the savior. Like, no,
It's
come, get yourself to the space of dealing with your issues,
Yes.
understand what they're all about, heal them. Then when you go into a relationship, you go there with confidence.
Yes.
Yeah. So for us, the spaces of men and women is a creation of new societies and communities that we need.
Wow, that's very touching. That's very powerful, because in our communities, or as African people, you know, there's this say, whereas they say a man is not supposed to cry. The men don't have to shed their tears, and they have to hold up to that, or they have to not even show a sign of pain or, you know, sorrows. And yes, I think that's why we are in a world that is almost broken, because we are also allowing our men to be broken. Yes. And not to fix also themselves, but to have such an opportunity where there's a service like Shabaka building our men to becoming the African men that we need. I think we will have Africa as a beautiful place to live, because I think we are so much separated. Even in families, there's always misunderstanding of between a man and a wife, because I think, as you're saying, they haven't yet stepped into their own self. They haven't even acknowledged themselves as a human being, as an African black man or as an African black woman. And I think those also are the issues that we encounter in our relationships, because I don't think that whatever that comes as maybe a point of separation or a divorce into a marriage or into any relationship between a man and a woman, I think is all a source of them first knowing themselves, accepting their challenges, and stepping up to first healing themselves, so that they can be at that level where they can also meet the other person. Just like you say, another one limping and expecting them to be, you know, to do their best is almost impossible. So true. So we have this Pan-African cultural event or festival called the Kwanzaa. May you take us through this festival?
Kwanzaa, it's a first fruit festival, and it's a cultural festival. And Kwanzaa, as a name, it's a Kiswahili word meaning first fruit. We as Ebhukhosini, we are celebrating Kwanzaa as a festival that for the longest time has been done by African people in the diaspora. But when we are celebrating it here in South Africa, we are contextualizing it in South Africa and in the continent. Wow. And the reason being that because the First Fruit Festival is not a new phenomenon. It's not a new thing. This has been one of the ceremonies that has always been taking place. That we got to forget about them, and that's why those who came up with the concept of Kwanzaa in the diaspora, Dr. Mwalinga Karenga, and some of the researchers that they work with. Them in the diaspora, they felt that there's a ceremony of festivities that they have to understand that used to bring us as African people together. And through that research, that's when they realized that the first fruit celebration was one of the festivities that were bringing people together. So we draw that because even in the continent, those kind of festivities, we have forgotten them. So we are also bringing them back to us, even in the continent, even when we have not left, to use them as a way of reminding us what it means to be us. How do we come together as a collective? How do you unify? How do we be self-determined about who we are? How do we support each other's business? How do we support each other's works? How do we understand our purpose? Because it's important that we are here for a purpose, but we tend to forget that. And how do we not lose faith no matter how hard life is? So for me, this Kwanzaa festival, when we are celebrating it, it is that reminder of us, about us, us coming back to us and coming together, and again also being a time for celebration and also a time for healing.
For healing.
Yeah.
Wow, beautiful. So this is almost the end of this interview, but before we reach the end, I would like for you to give us an advice for Africans who are out there in search of their African identity.
First, I just want, as African people, to understand that we are great people, and it's not just just to say.
Yes,
it is true. We are great people.
Yes.
And being great people, that means we need to remember our greatness all the time. Because so in our greatness and remembering it, it is how we are going to create new ways that can be responding to all the challenges that we have. All the challenges that we have, being it unemployment, relationship, whatever problems that we have, it's like we have answers.
Yes.
But those answers, they are sitting on us, remembering what it means to be us. And I know that remembering what it means to be us as Africans, sometimes it looks like it's a short kind of thing that is just looked on the as an African, just that. But what I'm talking about is that when you start to understand what it means to be yourself as an African, it opens up a door to know what it means to be you as a divine being.
Yes.
And this is who we are.
Yes.
We are divine beings that are experiencing life as Africans.
Yes.
And if we remember that, that is our identity.